Yo, 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 it's your boy, RayMabry. And as my title states, I have already found a buyer for that property. So I'm going to go in details on how, one, I was able to find a buyer so quickly. And then two, I'm going to give you some tips on how you can find a buyer in record speed whenever you have a property to resell. So before I get started, let me introduce myself. My name is RayMabry, full-time real estate investor here in Raleigh, North Carolina area. I'm actually here in Midtown Raleigh right now, formerly known as North Hills. And so I just want to bring this video to you right quickly. But now, just so you know, the property is not here in Raleigh. It's in a surrounding county, a couple hours away. But anyways, the way I was able to find this buyer is, and here's a tip. Tip number one: whenever you get a property, whenever you purchase a property, because normally I don't purchase properties. Normally I assign contracts, I wholesale deals, but this particular property was so great that I had to buy it. So that's one of the reasons why I bought it. But in an event you was able to buy a property, you was able to get it for a great deal, you got to meet the neighbors. That's number one. You got to meet the neighbors and, you know, just build some rapport with the neighbors. And for a few reasons. First of all, the house, you've seen the house, it's overgrown, been vacant for years and stuff. And so most people that live in the community, they take pride in their properties just like you and I would take pride in our property. So whenever they see someone around a property, they want to first make sure you're not trying to break in and all that stuff. So that's one reason why you need to introduce yourself, is let them know that you are the new owner of the property. But more importantly, when you start doing work, when they start seeing some activity on the property, then they're going to want to, you know, kind of be a part of it. They want to kind of find out what's going on, kind of find out what your intentions and stuff are. So it's very important that you introduce yourself and then just kind of tell them what you're looking to do. I think I probably met yesterday when I was at the property 5 or 6 neighbors. And I explained to them, me being the new owner, and I let all of them know that, hey, the property was for sale. And so I've learned so much about the property, the history of it, which is my next point. They can tell you stuff about the property that you're not going to find from a tax record, from a tax card, you know, from the tax assessors, tax office. You know, so the neighbor's going to give you more inside scoop, inside tea, if you want to call it, on what has happened with the property, the history of the property. That's invaluable information because, one, it can kind of give you a clear understanding as to how the property got the way it is. But then, two, you can also take some of that information and share it along with whoever's going to be your end buyer. So therefore, it's very important to make sure that you build a rapport with them and get that information from them so that you can get a clear understanding of the property and its history. And so the way I was able to find this particular buyer is he lives in the area. He's seen the property, he knew who the owners were, and he even said that he didn't know the property was for sale. But this particular buyer, you know, he's just a lifelong resident in that area, and he owns a couple other properties in that area. And so, you know, we talked a little bit at the property, and, you know, he asked me for a price. And so here's another point. This is a very, very, very important tip that I want you to make sure you know whenever you're negotiating with a prospective buyer and or seller, but in this case, a buyer. You never really want to name the first price. But with this particular guy here, you know, like I said, we built some rapport and stuff. And so he asked me for a roundabout figure, a roundabout number. And so what I like to do is, a lot of people assess the values of properties based off of the tax value. That's not normally what the property is assessed at. I mean, it's valued at market value, but it's a good start. So this particular property that I bought for $14,000, the tax value on that property is over $90,000. So one, that just gives me a great number to start at. Now I know in this as-is condition that I'm not going to be able to sell it for $90,000. That's not where I'm going at with that. But whenever you talking with a particular buyer, a potential buyer, and they ask you for a price, or asking price, I say, well, you know, the tax value is a little over $90,000, and you know, I say that to get a reaction from them because, once again, obviously he may have a price in mind that he's thinking that the property is worth to him. But by me starting at that high number, you know, it kind of gives me some room to work down from. So from there, I was like, of course, I'm not looking to try to get that, but I am looking to get somewhere right around, and I think I told him 45 to 50,000, as is, if he's willing to buy it now. Because I also let him know what my intentions were, is to get it cleaned out on the outside, get it cleaned out on the inside, stop the leaks in the roof, and then turn around and list it with a realtor. Now, which is my next point, because typically when you bring a realtor in it, they're going to try to get more money for it, because they're going to kind of go off after a different type of investor that's typically willing to spend a little more money than your regular investor that buys directly from a wholesaler. So by me saying that my end goal is to list it with a realtor, that lets them know that I am trying to get maybe a higher price than if I would cut him a deal and just talking to him straight up. And so that's kind of the angle I went from. And so he said he's very interested. He needed to talk to his mom, and we're supposed to follow up again today to confirm some things. But here's my thing. Even if I sold the property, say at 45, right at $50,000, that's a 3X on my investment. 3X. And remember, guys, all I'm doing is just cleaning out the outside of the house, and then we're gonna go inside and, you know, get some of the junk out of the house. But that's the extent of it. I'm not going in and rehabbing this property. And for one reason is I'm not a rehabber. Another reason is you've seen some of the videos, you've seen some of the outside of the property. The property needs a lot of work. But there are people out there that could be a project for them. They can go in and fix the house up at their own pace. And if they're doing the actual fixing up, that's going to save them a lot more money than it would cost me to contract it out to a contractor, or, you know, sub it out to a contractor. So therefore, in a situation like this, it's going to be better if I can get somebody that's going to be looking to get this property and fix it up themselves, and or if they have the crew and the means to, you know, just have somebody come in and fix it at a lot lower price than it would take for me to fix it myself. So the way I was able to find this buyer, once again, it's a local person that lives right up the road from the property. He sees the house every single day. He actually was raised in that particular neighborhood, so he's fully aware of the neighborhood. He likes the neighborhood. He still lives there. And he's a very, very serious buyer. And I mentioned something about he needed to talk to his mom. His mother, from what I've been told by other residents, I mean, they have money. These particular folks, they have money. This particular guy here too, he looks like he may be in his mid-20s, whatever, but he has investment properties and stuff. So he's an investor. He's a serious buyer. And, you know, if we can agree on the price, so be it. But if not, my exit strategy is still to list the property and try to list it for a little higher, not the $90,000, but I may list it somewhere right around 69,000, give or take, maybe 75. I have to talk with the realtor to find out what would be a fair price to list it on the MLS, and then go from there. But you know, the last point I want to make is whenever you get a property, you need to be present. Now, I do a lot of virtual wholesaling, which means, you know, I'm here in North Carolina. The property could be in Virginia. The property could be in DC, Maryland. I can't be at those places all the time because I don't live in those areas. But if you get a property close to where you live, it's very important that you go and you make yourself known, introduce yourself to the neighbors, as I said before, because they can tell you things about the property that you just would never know about it. But then at the same time, they kind of going to be curious, and they're going to know, hey, who this person that owns this property now. And so if you present yourself as somebody that's approachable, somebody that that's friendly, then in return, they will show you courtesy and friendliness as well. And I'm telling you, everybody was just super excited about, you know, the house getting fixed up and the house getting sold and stuff. And they will start advocating for you. And so you can also make them, you know, people that can kind of, you know, you give your information out to them and say, hey, look, just so you know, if you do find a buyer or somebody that's interested in purchasing this property, we pay out referral fees. So now you got some people out there that's marketing and advertising the property for you to help get it sold. And my last point, this is my last point to get property sold very quickly, especially the ones that you purchase. Now, I probably wouldn't do this if I was assigning the contract and just wholesaling the property, because I don't own the property, I own the contract. But in this situation here, being that I own the property, what you want to do is get a for sale by owner sign and put it in the front yard with your contact information on it, because people are going to be riding through the property all the time. And remember, they know about the property, they know about the history of it, and when they start seeing activity on the property, you never know. It may be somebody, once again, that's local that could be interested in the property, and when they call you up, you negotiate and see what kind of deal you can work out. But anyways, I keep you posted on the progress of this particular deal. We actually going on a little mini vacation, leaving out today, so I won't be back at the property until I think next Tuesday, because we'll be back I think next Monday or so. So I probably won't be back at the property until next Tuesday. But either way, you know, we just out here making things happen. And, you know, I just want to just share this particular journey here with you to kind of encourage you and inspire you to go for it. You know, the deals are out there. And no, I haven't stopped wholesaling, because I'm working on a couple wholesale deals right now in the Maryland area. They're trying to go and get those closed this month, next month as well. So I still wholesale, but I wanted to take on this particular property here and actually purchase it and flip it and just keep it going. So I just encourage you, just don't let fear stop you. You have what it takes. If you don't know how to do something, reach out. You know, let's talk, let's connect, see how we can work together. But the deals are out here. The deals are still out here. Don't let people trick you and think that there are no deals out here. Sometimes you have to be a little creative. Sometimes you have to step out your comfort zone, and you have to just take a chance. All right, but believe in yourself and set fear aside and keep it moving. All right. So this is your boy RayMabry, about to sign off. Until next time, peace.